All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Summit. Yes, just because wrestling might be at a period right now, we're not. We're here, and guess what? I got my brothers, my big brothers, on the line with me. And guess what? For the first time, I'm happy that the Eagles won. It's been a long time since I could say that. And it's official. The Panthers have just made themselves 12-0. But I'm happy. They're happy because the Eagles won and they took down them old stinky Patriots, which we know Stephanie McMahon is a fan of. But just like her product today, she's not happy tonight. Woo! Yes, because we're going to start right now. Introducing the one and only Mike Knox. What's going on, baby?
What's going on, everybody out there? Listen, I didn't ask for much. I asked for a little. And the little I asked for, people said, I'm sorry, are you high? Are you sniffing glue? I said, when I was a kid, glue smelled good, but I didn't sniff it. But the Eagles would win today, people. We beat Broadway Brady for the first time in our history. Tell them, brother wizard.
Well, I'll put it this way, and you know how I'm feeling right now, but nobody gave us a chance.
Nobody.
I'm talking about people that I work with,
Mm-hmm.
people that I'm friends with.
Tell them.
Everybody ran.
Everybody. Mm-hmm.
Everybody. So I'm going to say a ha.
Ha. Aha.
And another ha.
Ha ha.
Last laugh, because the Eagles did what everybody thought we weren't going to do. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Ha! Badford all the way, baby. Let's talk wrestling.
Well, we can talk wrestling. Guess what, guys? There's a guy named Sheamus who is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And, it's been a week, 10 days, 15, 14 days, whatever. I want to know, how do my brothers feel about Sheamus title reign? And Sheamus, what is it, 515, says, I just whipped your arse. Corey, I'm going to start with you. How you feel about it, bro?
I mean, as I said way back when it happened, they went the safe route. We'll see how they play off this League of Nations thing, because some people may perceive it as him looking weak as champion by being put in a stable with people that are, not necessarily in the title picture. But like I've said before, and we've said it on here before, right now they're in a transition period where nothing's really going to matter until the Royal Rumble anyway. So what he's doing with the championship, he's going to defend it. Just let him do what he has to do.
Mike?
League of Nations all the way. I love it. I think it's a perfect way to put, to me, it's not about Sheamus looking weak or not. We all know that Sheamus has always been booked very strong. This is completely in the world of, politics and like that, it's just a PR move. This was a fans-made move to bring a faction around him like the League of Nations, and I absolutely love it. I think some of us in some way have always sat back and looked at them all being separate and said, oh, imagine them being together, and it's never really been spoken about and brought out there into the main masses to actually do it. So the fact that they actually went ahead and did that, I like it. I've always been on the record for saying I am a Sheamus supporter. I think this makes him look good in every which way. I mean, he won sleazy, because every time you win the Money in the Bank in that fashion, other than unless you're Daniel Bryan, you've done it sleazy. So I like how he did it. I like what they're doing. To me, Raw was very, very good. That's just me. I love Raw, especially with the show they gave us a week prior to this one. Brian?
I tell you this. I don't like Sheamus title reign. But if this is something that can help elevate a guy like Roman Reigns and make him the face that everybody... Wait a minute. Hold up. Time out. Is that Shadow, or does Corey have a beard?
I have a beard.
Corey's hashtag beard game. I think it becomes infectious on everybody. I think it actually does.
Because I mean, y'all gotta understand something. That threw me off because I've known this brother for so long. I'm like, wait a minute, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's No Shave November, but I guess I seen the brother in action the other day. That's all I'm saying. I guess that's a reason why he gonna keep it. But nonetheless, the thing is, guys, I of course I don't like Sheamus, but I have to admit he annoyed me, and that whole Sheamus 515 is annoying. But guess what? As a heel, that's what he's supposed to do. I like the fact that he's not a cool heel.
Right.
He's a heel that you hate And I don't want to see him on my TV, but it makes me interested in Roman Reigns that much more because it's like I don't have Daniel Bryan, I don't have John Cena, I don't have Randy Orton to knock him off his pedestal. So
Right.
I need Roman Reigns right now, and that's what people got to realize. Like, let's just, he might not be what we want him to be, for whatever reason, and maybe he is, but this is the type of feud that I think Roman needs, and it puts him in a feud with the Authority also, and that can help. That can help him get where he needs to be.
Absolutely. Sheamus is right now, I think, the perfect foil for Roman Reigns right now. One, because there's nobody left anyway, but two, I mean, he plays the cowardly heel role well enough to where he's still believable when he beats you, but he's playing it off that much annoyingly heelish that you're like, okay, I'm ready for somebody to beat him. And that may be what Roman Reigns needs. He may just need that kind of support where, okay, at this point, I'm just ready for somebody to beat Sheamus. So why not let Roman Reigns capitalize off of that heat? Go ahead, Mike.
The heat that Roman get, speaking about, Sheamus and how they're looking, to me, like you said, Brian, it makes Roman looks even better. I'm sorry, I like the aggression, I'm sorry, if you will, from Roman and what he's doing. Again, I'm a Roman Reigns supporter. You know what I mean? I've been over the fact of whatever the fact is, whatever that fact that people think's a fact, but it's just opinion that's a very bad opinion about Roman Reigns. I actually like Roman, and I like Roman versus Sheamus, to be honest. I like the deck being stacked, not just against Roman, but against his family and friends as well. Again, I thought Raw was very good from a story standpoint.
Well, now let's talk about the League of Nations in depth. How do you feel about this group? Real quick, somebody just jumped in on the Twitter, which you can follow us at Wrestle_Summit. Shout out to Nike Whipwreck at Mr. Know It All on Twitter. He said the League of Nations is great, but it may be too much consolidated in one stable. Someone will go neglect it. Mike, what do you think about that statement right there?
In all stables, that would typically never really happen if you had somebody that was weak in the stable. Let's just use, for example, during the downtime years of Brian Pillman and the Hart Foundation. Couldn't be used to the full of his abilities. We know the injury and things like that. But you look at the League of Nations, you have Sheamus the champion, focal point. You have Alberto Del Rio, U.S. champion, focal point. You have King Barrett. No matter what we like and how much he gets hurt, they still push him there because they know that on the camera likes him, if you will, so to speak, right? And then you throw in Rusev. I mean, I don't think no one goes unforgiven here. You have 4 guys right now that can separately, let alone putting them in tag team matches, 8-man tag team matches, the way that goes, but single-handedly can go and carry a match by themselves against anybody else in that company, which they need right now with the thin depth they have in their roster.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to counter-argue that when saying that I honestly think, and weak link is such a bad term, but for a lack of a better one, literally in this case, Wade Barrett's the weak link, I think.
Yeah, he would probably have to be.
Yeah, he would be the weak link. and it's only because I feel like all of them have something else at least going, even if only thing for Rusev is Lana.
Right.
But something. Wade Barrett's going to end up being the workhorse / whipping boy whenever all the faces jump up on one of them. It's going to end up being him, a la, I guess, Xavier Woods, of how he always takes the punishment with New Day.
Right.
It's going to be just like that. Wade Barrett's going to be that guy. Not his fault. That's what it's going to end up being. It's just the process of elimination.
And again, he can still carry a match against somebody, and that'd be the match that they would lose as a team.
Mm-hmm.
But even that much, I wouldn't even go that far. You know what I mean? I like to see that actually play out, Corey, because I think Wade Barrett wins a lot more than people give him credit for. That bullhammer elbow comes out of nowhere. I mean, it's just I like the team. I think they could be very, 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 very strong. Always hit C on multiple choice answers. Summer school taught me that in the movies. I'm just saying, 1988, baby, great year.
Well, the thing is, when I look at the League of Nations, they have all very hateable heels. And you guys, you can't help but go here. It's when you think back to WWE 12, and they did this on the storyline
with the United,
Huh?
with the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was awesome because at that time, you remember people were tweeting, man, WWE 12 has a better storyline than the WWE does at that time. It'd be nice if we could have got that WCW invasion, I say, but seeing we couldn't, that United Kingdom and bringing back, in the League of Nations, I love every bit of it. And Glenn, he's not in, but he said earlier that maybe they should add Becky Lynch or Paige. I think
Yeah, I said.
Becky Lynch would benefit high from this because she's kind of been the one that's kind of like lost in the shuffle a little bit. She's been trying to break out of the shell. Being in this part of this group would kind of help her. But when I see guys like Alberto Del Rio, that's not somebody people like to cheer. Even when he was the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, before that, with his feud with Edge and his feuds with Rey Mysterio, people just didn't like the guy. He kind of had like him and Sheamus were kind of similar. Came up around WWE, hit the main event scene around that December mark, and then he just was easily to hate.
He's a people power guy. He's one of the crop of guys that he was responsible for. John Laurinaitis, I believe.
Well, and then you also look at a guy like you look at a guy like Rusev. Like we said, like you guys said, he has Lana going for him. But nonetheless, people don't like Rusev. They don't like to cheer. Do they want to see him on TV? Yeah, because that means they get Lana. But I love how they compile all these guys. What I hope they do not do, which I don't see why they would, is bring a guy like Kevin Owens because he's Canadian and throw him in the group. I don't see that happening. But, I love the fact that you have all uncool heels.
Yeah, but the one that'll end up still catching somewhat of some babyface heat, if that even applies to this group, it would be Wade Barrett once again. He's the one that out of the four, you're probably going to be like, okay, because he's going to end up being the workhorse. I don't think it's Del Rio, just because Del Rio offers enough where you don't have to have him in there all the time, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You want to save him. Rusev is not going to carry a match like Barrett. Sheamus is the champion, so he doesn't need to carry matches realistically. Your guy is going to be Barrett.
I think Rusev can carry a match with the best of any of the proper four, probably better than all of them.
Okay, I don't mean that in a way that
I just want you to clarify that, right? For those.
Okay, but he's not Wade Barrett.
Right.
He's not Wade Barrett. So Wade Barrett's going to end up getting a lot of the match time, and at least initially, if Wade Barrett's in there they can't put him in there with Roman. I'll put it that way, because people will still cheer for Barrett over Roman right now. But as long as they keep him in there with an Ambrose, I think it's okay.
Well, go back a little bit to the. I believe I brought that up to you, Brian, as far as Becky Lynch or Paige, something like that, joining the League of Nations, and it'd be a good thing for them, depending upon how long you want to keep those, that group together. I believe you can hold them together until WrestleMania. If you chose to, it's one of those factions that can always come together, just because of they're from different nations. And I think with what we're seeing with Charlotte kind of going heel, and I think I like the fact that every diva was pretty much a heel in a sense. So to add a Becky Lynch to that, who was kind of going to get forgotten with the girls that came up because of her quirky gimmick. And how they have her portrayed right now on Raw, I think it'd be wonders for her to be a part of that. You're talking about helping everybody out, including the program and Raw itself, to help the Divas division. I think that'd be perfect to add her to it. Like I said Paige at first, and then I started. I actually posted it, and somebody said, "What about she's from the UK as well?" I'm like, well, it doesn't say you can't be from different places. She's from Ireland, just like Sheamus is from Ireland. So let you go out there and get a Alicia Fox, who's an American. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see that working. So I think a Becky Lynch is perfect for this faction. But I think Paige would overshadow the group if she was a part of them.
Too. She's just that dominant of a force.
Yeah.
But now, so one of the things you guys, one of the things you said, Corey, was that when you look at Sheamus' title reign, you see it, it's kind of like a safe route. How long does he hold the title? Is it a surprise that he loses it? Or would it be a loss on Raw? Do you see him losing it at TLC? Do you see him losing it at Royal Rumble?
I don't see him losing it at TLC now. I may have when he first got it, but with this new group, I definitely don't see him losing it at TLC now. I highly, highly doubt going into the WrestleMania season that we see a WWE Championship title change on Raw. The Rumble will tell a lot because if he loses it at the Royal Rumble, and this is so obvious. This is really stating the obvious. But if he loses it to Roman Reigns, depending on who the winner is of the Royal Rumble, we could see Reigns' long title run. But I still see, for some reason, I think one of you all may have pointed it out, it may just be setting up for the quintessential babyface climb to the top at WrestleMania, and Roman just wins it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's where it has to happen. I think you can't put it off any further. You've done what you want to do, or answer their fans' cry, because trust me, they're just crying and crying and crying about Roman. So eventually, if you're the company that says you believe in him to push him where you pushed him to, Mania has to be the place.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
All right, so let's talk about this now. We talking WrestleMania. You know, guys, I'm gonna bring it up. Daniel Bryan, he somehow gets back in there. Do we see Roman push to the back again?
That's the X factor. That's the X factor right there. Mm-hmm. If Daniel Bryan is cleared and he wins the Royal Rumble,
Mania is his.
Roman Reigns, I could see the Roman Reigns shift in attitude if Daniel Bryan, because I think Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble would be good. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns would be a marketable main event for WrestleMania.
That's a good one, actually.
And
a great one.
Go the route of, and hear me out, they could go the route of Austin versus Rock, with not from 17, not necessarily with Reigns losing it, but Reigns could retain against Daniel Bryan, and in the process, I know I'm fantasy booking, but have his change of attitude. That's what I'm calling my heel turns now. His change of attitude, and accept the help of keeping the belt by saying, hey, you know, I got the belt. I want everybody's, and I wasn't getting it. You all jumped on Daniel Bryan again as soon as he came back. And you see what I did to him at WrestleMania. I could see Roman Reigns still walking out of WrestleMania WWE champion.
I think if that's the fantasy booking and Daniel Bryan is able to be cleared by their doctors, he deserves everything he got at 32, but in a bigger place, as much as I hate to admit it, in Jerry's world. But still, after he wins the match, that's when Roman has his
meltdown.
His change of attitude, right? Yeah. And I think a heel Reigns by himself is better than anything we're getting right now. I think turning on a Daniel Bryan, it'd be so awesome the way you guys mentioned that would have happened at the Survivor Series when they did horrible booking. You know what I mean? You get that at WrestleMania, that carries you through the whole entire summer, just that two alone. I think that's something you can definitely book more than once, is Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, with an angry Roman Reigns. I think that's actually brilliant.
Well, see, this is how I would do it. I love both of your guys' ideas, but they're your ideas, and here's mine.
Okay.
Right now, I'm going to just put it like this. All right. I know Daniel Bryan's coming back. I know he's going to be cleared. This is how So what I'm going to do, I'm going to book Roman Reigns to win the title with TLC. He's going to get the fan support. He's going to have his brothers and all that, right? Then I'm going to surprise everybody with Daniel Bryan entry. Why? Because it's WWE Network. Anything can happen. Like Corey said back when we were talking about the night when Ambrose almost won the title, how much of a shock that would have been had he won the title if, you know, it would have said, this is why you need the WWE Network. So I'm going to give you that. I'm going to have Daniel Bryan. I'm going to have him. I'm just going to be a surprise. It's going to break the internet. It's going to go crazy. And then they're going to have the most respectful thing leading up to it. And I'm going to have Daniel Bryan go over, of course. But then he's going to have, you know, the confetti and all that. Then, immediately, the next night on Raw, and come shake hands, and that's when I do my Roman Reigns heel turn. And that's going to be my feud. And I will actually have Reigns take the title back at, well, the lack of a better word, well, Extreme Rules. I was about to say Backlash. And then I would have Bryan chase Reigns throughout the summer. Just a little, you know. switch it up. Well, you know what? Maybe not throughout the whole summer. Maybe a couple trades here and there because well, the fans are due for Daniel Bryan's title run, so maybe I wouldn't even do that. Probably have Bryan hold it until Rollins is almost ready, then have Bryan drop it to a heel, and then get that ready for Rollins. That's just how I would do it. But like I said, I love you guys' ideas. Welcome into the show, Glenn. How you doing today? We talking right now. We talking Sheamus title reign, League of Nations, and we just threw out our fantasy booking for the Royal Rumble. So we want your thoughts on Sheamus title reign and the League of Nations first.
First of all, I think the Sheamus title run is good. I like it. You know, people say it's bad. Look, let's be honest. Right now, Sheamus is good for business. To have the title run, there really is no true heels in the company right now.
Sheamus is a great true heel.
Who?
Sheamus is a great true
Yeah,
heel.
that's what I'm saying. There's no true heels right now, so that's why he's running with it. He's a great true heel. When you put him with Alberto Del Rio, who is your U.S. champion, you put him with Rusev, who needed something other than Lana. He needed to be connected with somebody, which is good. And you put him with Wade Barrett. They're throwing everything at Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett has been king of the ring. He's been an Intercontinental champion, and everything seems like nothing sticks. So with this group, he has the opportunity not to be to do it on his own, but he could do it as a group. And we know Wade Barrett was the best when he was with Nexus. So it's not bad to be in a group per se to be able to run and do this. My other thing is with Sheamus being heel. It is a good thing because you want the heel to be champion right now. You can let the babyface continue to chase, let the babyface continue to run forward. You mentioned Daniel Bryan. My only issue with Daniel Bryan is that the WWE doctors won't clear him. His own personal doctors will clear him, but the WWE doctors won't clear him. So what is that saying about Daniel Bryan's future with the company? Now, they could all swerve us. You know, they say the doctors don't clear him, doctors ain't going to clear him, and we see him in the Royal Rumble. I mean, it could happen. But WWE is not ready to take that liability for Daniel Bryan. So, but I think Sheamus' run is good right now, the way they're playing it. He's not by himself. He has a group, he has a team, so that means there's other people that Roman Reigns has to go through in order to get to Sheamus. There's other pieces of the puzzle that you can deal with, and obstacles you can throw his way. So I like Sheamus' run right now for the 2 weeks that he had the title. We'll see how it plays out leading to tables, ladders, and chairs, and we see how it plays out in the Royal Rumble. I don't think Roman Reigns wins at table, ladders, and chairs. I think he goes on to the Royal Rumble. And I don't know who wins that Royal Rumble because think about it, Royal Rumble is really setting up WrestleMania. Is it better for Roman Reigns to have to go into WrestleMania as the champion, or is it better for Roman Reigns to win it at WrestleMania?
Depends on Royal Rumble.
It depends on your roster.
Depends on the roster.
And you get John Cena back. You get Cena back, right? Yeah. You get Cena back in a couple weeks.
I've already said book Cena to win at WrestleMania. I'm on the board for saying that right now. That with the way it is right now, we're speaking of what we have. We're not thinking about comebacks, right? Because as of right now, the roster as you see it right now, you might as well book John Cena wins at WrestleMania the 16th time.
They got to win the Rumble. That's the case.
But there's a question. There's a question off of Twitter. Nike Whitbread asks you, Glenn, because you brought up because you said Wrestling Summit though. Owens isn't a great true heel.
Oh, can I answer that, please? Oh, can I please?
And I know who Nike Whitwreck is too, so I'm gonna let Corey answer this.
Yeah, because I know who it is too. It's like my brother from another mother. I'll put it that way. So this is directed straight at him. The reason why Owens is booked as a true heel, yes, but is he not the way Sheamus is? And the reason why he has such a following that he still gets actual babyface heat to where, yeah, you have heels that still some people cool cheer for, but you're starting to see people still cheer for Owens, and he's trying so hard blocking people on Twitter and just, ignoring people. He's trying everything in his power to do stuff like that. It's annoying when Kevin Owens does stuff like that. Like, well, I actually kind of like him. He's kind of funny. So that's what I think is separating him from Sheamus, is that no matter how hard he's trying to be a true heel, it's not working in a sense.
Right, and plus they had a little. And if you look at Sheamus, and shout out to Brian for this, Sheamus and Owens had a little Twitter beef this week on Twitter, over the weekend. But to answer the question, Sheamus is a true heel because, as Corey said, you get the true boos. The fans don't like him. Didn't like him when he came back. Didn't like the beard. Didn't like the hair.
Right.
Didn't do anything. He's here. He's not an American. I know Kevin Owens is not American either. But
But he's
let's be honest.
Canadian. We
He's
count
Canadian,
those.
right? All right. But at the same time, Sheamus brings that true heat, and when you put him with other people, it adds fuel to the fire. I love the fact that so it adds fuel to that fire, and you need that heat right now. He's the best heel that you have in the company that can talk, can get on the microphone a little bit. You can't do it to Kevin Owens. People don't know him. Sheamus had the Money in the Bank briefcase. Let's not forget about that. It was Sheamus with the Money in the Bank briefcase that made him champion. So and Owens has an IC title. So for him to make a run, he has to go against Sheamus, and yet you can't afford both of your heels to go against each other right now. The top two heels in the company, I would say, because other people are hurt and gone. So the briefcase made Sheamus an instant heel, and now you got to find that babyface, which is Roman Reigns. Right now, it was the true babyface of the company to move on.
Real quick, guys, because I do have a conference call with somebody that I have to take, but I will leave this parting little message with what we were talking about just now. Let's not rule out that Sheamus holds this to WrestleMania either, because if you think about it, he's drawing such heat. Like I said earlier with the chase with Roman Reigns, it might end up being that he's facing Sheamus, and that may mean that there's still another big-time money match they've got set up for WrestleMania. We can't rule out Sheamus going in as champion.
No, you can't. We can't rule out Sheamus going in as champion. I say this, and I've always said this. If Sheamus makes it to the Royal Rumble as champion, he will be champion at Mania. Very rarely do we see people lose the championship at the Royal Rumble. And definitely very rarely do we see anybody lose a championship after the Royal Rumble going into WrestleMania. You see what I'm saying? You very rarely see that. So
Shawn Michaels is involved.
Yeah, but that's not they don't have a Shawn Michaels on the roster right now who's not hurt. So whoever's champion after Royal Rumble, definitely Sheamus has the possibility. If Sheamus is champion after TLC, Sheamus, in my opinion, goes to WrestleMania as the WWE champion. The fact is that this is my thing is I want to see how they play out table, ladders, and chairs with Roman Reigns and Sheamus. Because you figure you got tables, you got ladders, and chairs, you got all three equalizers in this match. Usually table, ladders, and chairs was a match to settle it all, in for all. You know what I'm saying? Besides Hell in a Cell. But this is their first match in the series. You see what I'm saying? This is their first match in the series. It's already table, ladders, and chairs. How do you top this for the next two if you keep Roman Reigns in the picture?
I don't know. I really don't know how do you top it. How far do they plan to go with this? I think that's the question.
That's the question. And can you, if you give this to me right now, you give it to me in December, you give it to me in January, I may see it in February. By the time April rolls around, I don't want to see it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So one of these guys will be out of the title picture come April. Come February. You see what I'm saying? So somebody won't be in the title picture, whether it's Sheamus or whether it's Roman Reigns. I know a lot of fans saying they wish it Roman Reigns is out of the title picture, but that leaves Sheamus in the title picture. So then your next question is, who is Sheamus's dance partner for that time period, that time frame?
John Cena.
Nobody wants
the person you could do is Dean Ambrose.
Nobody wants to see John Cena and Sheamus again. It's been there a couple times.
Hey. Right now,
I'll take your annual WrestleMania match, which would be Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, if that means Daniel Bryan's going to beat Sheamus for the title and avenge him from the match we was at.
Now, you could get that. Now, some would say they owe Daniel Bryan and Sheamus a little bit more time at WrestleMania. If you go back to WrestleMania, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Wizard could correct me if he was here.
27.
26, if you go back, where they had a U.S. title match.
27.
It was 27?
Yep.
27 U.S. title match, where it didn't turn out to being end up being a lumberjack match or battle royal. Then you go 28, where Sheamus won the title in 18 seconds. Mm-hmm. They didn't get a rematch off of that. So you could go Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. My thing is, if you bring Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble, he has no other choice but to win it. Because if you bring him back and he doesn't win, it's a fail for everybody, and it's not a win-win situation. Now, my long shot for winning the Rumble is this. You could get The Undertaker to win the Rumble, go in for the title, win the title, And whatever happens, happens. His last match could be a title match. I know, Mike, what you're saying. Undertaker Sting, but I told you before, nobody.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And what you're about to say is completely false. Everybody wants to see Undertaker and Sting. What I'm saying is that now you just say you don't see Undertaker at all. Now you're saying you want to book him for the title.
I will book him for the title. I will book Undertaker. If this is last dance, why not book him for the title?
I don't disagree with that.
I'm gonna say this though. Let's be real. We know Undertaker. He's not Hulk Hogan. He's not. He's not going to go out like that. We know better. We, you know.
But you know,
That's why I say if he has money, if you want to draw money, you have. Let's be honest. Let's see. What Glenn has become, people. What you're looking at when you see G5 725 before you're on the Wrestling Summit, you see a man who's the Mayweather Pacquiao effect of hearing something for so many years. So he's just over it. It's like he's drowning in Taker Sting talk. But the second it's booked and his butt is among the 100,000 fans in attendance, he will mark out. Okay? And if he does not mark out, I will go streaking up through the quad and through the gymnasium. And we all know you don't want to see me streaking. So just enjoy what should happen at WrestleMania. But I'm on the decline of thinking we're going to get it. I think Taker's gone.
Well, Glenn, let me correct you real quick because the fans are, they're emailing and tweeting. The thing is, we did get a rematch between Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. It's just unmemorable.
I thought we did too.
At Extreme Rules that year, the night Brock Lesnar and John Cena fought.
Yep.
Got you.
So, but like you said, there's no way if Daniel Bryan comes back. There's no way he doesn't win the Royal Rumble. I think it would be a travesty. I think it would be a travesty that would break the internet 2-3 times more than it did before. And, I mean, let's be real, because no matter what, Daniel Bryan, whatever he does, people like. And the fact is, they did tweet about it on SportsCenter when he won the Intercontinental title last year. I'm just saying. So that's how important he is. So moving forward, I think that I'm hoping he comes back, obviously, but I think that's the only reason. That's the only way. Like Glenn said, you're only gonna see one of them in the title picture. If I got to see Sheamus in the title picture, that's the only person I want to see him in the title picture with.
Nah, all three scenarios can work.
There's another person, and we keep saying it. I'm gonna keep using the name, and I'm gonna use his name one more time. Brock Lesnar.
Well,
Brock Lesnar versus Sheamus? And you talking about John Cena versus Sheamus wouldn't sell? Stop.
Brock Lesnar versus Sheamus would sell.
I think any fight in the ring with Brock Lesnar sells. I just don't want to see that at Mania. Now, granted, Sheamus is amongst the opponents, and this is for me speaking. Brian H. Waters. You can follow me on social media at Brian H. Waters. This is me speaking. Brock Lesnar is amongst the people who I mean, Sheamus is amongst the people that I want to see lined up for Brock Lesnar. It looks like I'll probably never get the Orton and Brock Lesnar match with Randy Orton having all these injuries. By the time he gets back, Brock Lesnar may not be under contract anymore. He probably be injuries. But I would love to see that match. I just don't want to see it for my main event in Mania. It's just going to be one of those things. I'm trying to think about Paul Heyman trying to convince me, like, Paul Heyman, talking against Sheamus. I don't want to see that.
Paul Heyman can sell ice to an Eskimo. He wouldn't be talking against Sheamus. He'll be talking against Dutch Martel. Let's be honest. Dutch Martel will be the manager of the League of Nations. Dutch Martel can talk. Oh, sorry, Zeb Coulter. Sorry, forgot where I was at there for a minute. Zeb Coulter, who can talk
on in the century.
Right. Zeb Coulter can talk. Paul Heyman can talk.
There's no guarantee that he's a part of that League of Nations yet, just being honest.
It's not a guarantee, but he will be. I think he will be.
I don't think they need him.
Well, if they don't need him, I mean, they're going to bring somebody in there. They're going to bring Lana.
Let's just stop that nonsense there. There's no Sheamus versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Okay. I mean, the way things are going, you never know, Mike. You might be saying, woo, 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 at WrestleMania. And
John Cena, champion.
Not in the main event.
Book it.
I just hope, like I said before, I just hope Sheamus is not in the title picture at WrestleMania.
Hustle, loyalty, and 16-time world champion.
We gotta move on.
Glenn brought this to my attention. Jim Ross was the latest victim of the hacker Twitter. Unfortunately, people said that, good old Hall of Famer, one of the reasons I got into this business, one of my favorite guys, Jim Ross, had passed away, and as we know, thank God Almighty, that did not happen. Jim Ross is still here with us, guys. This Twitter stuff, man, it's really annoying.
Look, when I saw this thing early this morning, as I was making some posts online, I didn't really add any validity to the story when I first saw it. What had happened, for ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, everything had been pulled down. Jim Ross' website had on there a statement from his family, a family statement from Jim Ross's family on his Twitter. And which you have to realize that if a family's making a statement on somebody's Twitter, it's probably fake. You know what I'm saying? Coming from Jim Ross's Twitter. But also, when you clicked on the link, it took you to somebody else's page. And I'm not going to give the person any credit or anything like that. It took you to a web page promoting wrestling. In other words, they wanted just clicks. My thing is, this is a cheap way of trying to get clicks for your website. It's wrong to hack into anybody's Twitter account anyway. I have a friend of mine and part of the program. She's been hacked several times on Instagram, whatnot. So, it's very wrong to do that stuff. And to say that somebody's dead, come on, man. And you had people who legitimately believed this because they were sending condolences to Jim Ross before they even figured out if it was true or not. And that's the funny thing is, people do your investigation before you start sending condolences. If you look like you didn't do anything, it's investigation time. If the WWE ain't put it out, WWE ain't put it out. I'm just curious enough. Jim Ross is big enough name that you would have heard it from Oklahoma Sooners because he was just at the game 5 hours earlier. You would have heard it. He just tweeted from. You would have heard it from CNN News. I think his name is big enough there. You heard it. Might have heard it from ESPN, and you definitely would have heard it from TMZ and WWE. Those 5 sources were the ones that I would have believed, and those are 5 sources that I looked for to see if Jim Ross was dead or alive. And I'm like, and therefore it was reported that Jim Ross had not passed. And the Twitter account, as the last time I checked, where the article was written, had been deactivated. I'm not sure if it's back up yet or not. But come on, fellas. Is this despicable? We know Chris Jericho's Instagram was hacked a couple months ago. Stop clicking on pictures, make a secure password, do everything you need to do, protect yourself, don't give it out, don't click on things that you shouldn't click on. It's just internet safety.
There it is.
Internet safety. Mike, any thoughts?
No, just I don't understand people. What's the use of you doing that? I don't know. I keep quiet when it comes to hackers. I don't want to be one of the victims, just another victim. So,
because at the end, he was just another victim.
Yo, let's be honest. If you're not hacking somebody's stuff, and I don't condone hackers, but you're not hacking somebody to get money. You're not hacking somebody to what are you hacking for? A Twitter just to get clicks on your account? I mean, come on. What did Jim Ross do to you?
He didn't do the little podcast.
Right. He didn't give you no barbecue sauce, no mustard. I mean, your order was late, or you just wanted to use his 1.9 million and thought it was a joke that you can get somebody. The joke is going to be on the hacker because I'm sure they're going to look for him or her or them, and most likely they're going to find the guy or girl.
Well, that's the thing. Like, exactly. Why are you hacking somebody's Twitter? It's one thing, and then to kill somebody, that's the thing I don't get. It's one thing to say, all right, we're going to hack somebody's Twitter, and we're going to, make a couple of jokes. Hey, Jim Ross is giving out free barbecue to everybody. All right, whatever. But to hack somebody's Twitter and then just to say, or hack somebody's website and say they did, come on now. Just ridiculous.
Ridiculous, man. It's just stupid, it's childish, and really, I'm done with the conversation.
All right.
Not in a bad way, but it's just bad, man. You have nothing but free time on your hands. I mean,
a lot right now.
And right, people who hacked his Twitter made rumor statement. Well, I guess the same people, but it was rumors that he's going to TNA. Why would he go to TNA? What's the point of Jim Ross actually going to TNA on Pop TV? They got D'Angelo, they got the Pope, they got Josh Matthews. Come on, they don't need Jim Ross. I don't see Jim Ross going on a sinking ship.
Shout out. We're on Periscope right now. Shout out to Ruckus listening in. Said we could just talk about Blackout. The legends of CZW. Mike Knox and G-Lo in the house live on YouTube, which you can find us, search, follow us on Twitter at Wrestle_Summit. You can get the link or check us out right there. We both of it, all three of us are definitely truly fans of the Great Blackout. But let's move on. Thanks to everybody viewing us right here on Periscope. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Wrestle_Summit, where you can catch the rest of the show. All right, so guys, let's move on. TNA, man, they got a new home. They're going to Pop.
Yeah, who? Where?
Pop.
I'm sorry.
Mike,
I don't
you don't know what Pop is? You don't know what Pop is? Let me tell you guys about Pop.
What is that? I just got to bring us some delicious soda pop.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you from Chicago. I had soda, but I like how you mixed it. You mixed it north and south. I mean, Midwest and south. But Pop is the station when there's a breaking news that happens during the day when I'm watching my soap operas. A lot of times I have to go back and watch on Pop the soap operas because at 7 o'clock they air the Bold and the Beautiful. 7:30 they air Young and Restless, and they got all those other type of shows. I find this interesting. Out of all channels, Pop is airing TNA. This is very interesting to me. And Mike, you're sitting there scratching your head, so I'm gonna let you go. Man, what you think? And Mike just got kicked off. Maybe he didn't like the Pop. Glenn, what's your thoughts?
I'm for it. Whatever they on, if they're on TV, it's TV. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Guys and girls still get to work and they still get paid. I got a lot of friends at TNA, personal friends at TNA. To me, it's a paycheck. If Pop willing to pay the money, hey, take the money, put on a good product. We forget ECW was on TNN. You know what I'm saying? The Country Music Network, before it was CMT or TNA, whatever the case they changed the name with, came on after Dukes of Hazzard. You know what I'm saying? So WWE was on the TNN channel. So what a TV deal is a TV deal. You ask Ring of Honor would they want a TV deal. You say yes. You ask Maryland Championship Wrestling if they wanted a TV deal. You would say yes. You see what I'm saying? All that makes a difference. TV money is good money. They play commercials. Whether it's Destination America or whether it's Pop, Pop is going to be a household name because at the end of the day on January, I believe it's January the 5th, TNA has their live show. And guess what? They're going to have about 300,000, 400,000 viewers. And Pop TV may never ever had 300,000, 400,000 viewers that ever come on to watch their station. You had people who Googled Pop TV. You had people who put their zip code into the Pop TV website to see if they had the channel. Impact Wrestling has a following. Let's not forget that. They have a following. Whether they follow them over at Pop TV or not, it's the time. Time is only going to tell. But boys and girls are still working. The men and women are still working. It's still an avenue out there. And TNA, for most people who think they're broke, they have a lot of international money. They just now have to get the money in the United States. International money, it depends on what the exchange rate is, it's still money.
International money is still money, certainly, man. I'm everything what you just said and more. I'm all for it, man. Long as it's on television. At the end of the day, this is what people fail to realize. As a wrestling fan, I want to see wrestling on television. I want to see as much wrestling as I can. There's no disrespect to the companies that's going to Roku. No disrespect at all. But I don't have a Roku on every device of my TV. The chances are that most people will have a cable television, a cable box on all their TVs more than they'll have a Roku box. So if they can get me on if I can get wrestling on TV, I'm all for it. Now, like I said, I think it's cool that companies like Maryland Championship Wrestling, the Combat Zone, CZW are on the Roku. I think that's very cool. But here's the thing. I only have one Roku box, and it's not in a TV that's comfortable to me. Why? Because my son uses it more than I do. So unless there's a match that my friends tell me I have to see, I'm not going to run to that TV. But the fact is, TNA is moving, but they're still on television. I'm all for it. Like I said, as long as it's a channel that I can see. Last year, the issue I had, 2 years ago, is I couldn't get Ring of Honor on couldn't get it up north in the Northeast because it wasn't on at the time the station that they're on now, Destination America. And I know they're moving too, but the bottom line is I'm in a local area so I can get it. So as long as I can get it on TV, man, I'm fine. I might not watch TNA each and every week, but hey, like you too, Glenn. I have friends over there, so when they're in the match, I tune in.
Yeah.
Look, I got friends over there as well, and I'm sorry, I'm not watching any wrestling just because it's wrestling. The TNA has not been good wrestling. People can sit here and tell me what they want to tell me, and I can go back and forth in your little groups and your little fan pages. You can tell me that I'm a WWE mark all you want to, and whatever the case may be. I'm a wrestling historian. I'm old enough to have seen it all, been there for a lot of it all. TNA is a sinking ship. I'm continuing to put money, which is my time, into a program that has never elevated. People say they don't like Madden football because Madden never changes. Well, guess what, guys? TNA never changes. It's the same thing over and over and over again. I don't care if they're on Pop, if they're on the Roku. I'd rather go to the Roku box and watch CZW any time of the week, Maryland Championship Wrestling, over TNA at this point. They've had their time. They refuse to grab the brass ring and run with it. Let the new kids on the block show up and see what else they got. As far as I'm concerned, TNA needs to go away. I can't wait to see Global Force Wrestling. And I know people say, well, that's TNA-esque. Yeah, it is, but it's still a different take on wrestling than what TNA has been giving us. That's just my opinion. And you don't like it or listen anyway at Mike Knox.
But this is my thing.
Uh-oh, what just happened, Brian?
Looked like John Wall got hurt.
The look in your face, I thought Golden State lost.
But let's be honest, Golden State will lose throughout the season. It's going to happen.
I just don't want them to lose until Christmas Day.
It's just a matter of time when it happens. They're going to lose. But my thing is this, with Impact Wrestling, when people say, oh, wrestling is down, I grew up in an era where we had everything was in WWE. I grew up in an era where I had UWF. I grew up in an era where I had WCW. I had NWA. I had Georgia Championship.
NWA, right.
So I grew up in that era where we had different wrestling that wasn't quote unquote up in New York or Connecticut area, and it was wrestling to me, and that's how I perceive now. It grew up was UWF always the greatest? No, Iceman King Parson, One Man Gang, Sting came from there. You had Eddie Gilbert, you had Rick Steiner, you had Missy Hyatt, you had Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Then you go on and you flip to AWA with Vern Gagne and them. You had Sergeant Slaughter and all these other wrestlers that was down there with Scott Hall and Mr. Perfect and my main man Gary Hart and down there at AWA, which I can switch on to. So you had all these different wrestling entities, and people were not saying, oh, they're on ESPN or they're on this backwoods channel or they're on that. Who cares what channel they're on? It's professional wrestling. Let's do wrestling like what it is. You're a wrestling fan, watch wrestling. What makes wrestling good and what makes it not good? Is it the storyline because it's intriguing? What not? And that's what everybody wants. TNA is doing a great job at what they're doing. And what? TNA
how they doing a great job at doing the same thing they've been doing for the last 10 years? TNA has not been relevant in 3 years. 3 years. Look, I love the guys there. You know them, I know them. This has nothing to do with the people that work for the company. I'm talking about the people who sit there and make a company thrive. Not just money you put into a company. Wrestling, it's storyline. Let's just keep it real. You don't have to like the hashtag, enjoy the hashtag. Without a storyline of pro wrestling, then all you have is New Japan. Or even not even that has storyline to it.
Right, but the
storylines are horrible.
But I'm going to tell a story. The wrestling has been good. The storyline has been terrible.
I don't care about wrestling. That's what people don't understand. I get sick and tired of people telling me that this company wrestles better than this company and that company wrestles better than that company. I don't care if I'm getting matches all single day long or give me Eddie Guerrero versus Lionheart Chris Jericho. I don't give a rat's backside. I don't. If the storyline is sitting there telling me that he's riding a donkey to the ring and he's a wife beater and he beats his children and drink beer, that's unimportant.
Look, I like wrestling over storyline any day. To me, I like wrestling. If it's pure wrestling and it's good, I don't deal with like storyline. To me is like it's like watching Young and the Restless. I like the wrestling inside the ring.
Then why do you watch the WWE then? Then why are you a WWE supporter the way you are? Again, and again, Glenn, with all due respect, that's a load of crap. If wrestling just had wrestling by itself, it'd have been off of television a long time ago, and it wouldn't exist. And every company out there wouldn't try to build storylines behind the characters. Wrestling's about characters.
That's the inconsistency of the storylines. I still like what you call pro wrestling. I don't call it sports entertainment.
Of course you should.
I like to see. I don't want to hear about bikers. I want to see what you can do in that 20 by 20 foot ring. You know what I'm saying? I go to wrestling because I want to see the action. I don't go to WrestleMania to go see a storyline. I want to see the action in the ring. The storyline don't get me there. It's the action.
I don't buy it.
You just said it yourself, Mike. Okay, Mike. You just said it yourself with Undertaker and Sting. What storyline is there with Undertaker and Sting? But you want to see the match?
The history of the two. What the dead man was to what Crow Sting, quote unquote, is supposed to be. Again, Glenn, this is, and people can listen. Do I love a great wrestling match? Yeah, damn Skippy, I do. Guess what? A damn wrestling match doesn't keep nobody watching it on television. So all those guys out there, including you, that want to sit there and say, well, I'm on my TV watching New Japan Pro Wrestling every single week on YouTube, you're a damn lie because you're still turning into WWE Raw on Monday nights complaining about how they didn't book something right. Booking is storyline.
And I fast forward through the parts I don't want to watch because I DVR it every week.
I DVR too, but guess what? You might be the only person I know who watches wrestling via the DVR and actually watches the action in the ring.
I want to see the ring. Some people I don't want to see talk. There's some
that's the best part about it.
That don't make sense. So what I want to see what happens inside the ring.
I agree. But for the most part, if you don't have a character behind the wrestling, the wrestler don't matter.
Hey, hold up. All right,
one more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing. I'm older than you. And yes, I was there when it was called pro wrestling. Guess what, people? To say that I'm a pro wrestler and I'm a sports entertainment guy, they're the same damn thing. Just one is more highly glorified as entertainment because they can't call it what it used to be called no more. Stop it. This is ridiculous. I show this bitch.
So let's flip it over. So all hip hop rappers are all the same? Yes, can you compare?
First of all, you don't even listen to hip hop, so don't even go there. That's a horrible analogy.
You listen to hip hop.
That's a horrible analogy.
The current hip hop I don't listen to. You listen to hip hop. Hip hop was hip hop.
That what you just tried to use to make an example out of the two situations was a very horrible, very bad comparison. To compare hip hop to this. Yes, hip hop's a bunch of characters.
Well, let me just say this. All right. So first of all, I understand what both of you guys are saying, and you guys have a lot of valid points. But let's not forget, I'm gonna attack both of you personally, and not me attack. I'm gonna say this.
It doesn't matter what you attack. Just speed it up.
You know what? I can put you on mute. Remember that. But here's the thing. All right. So you have Glenn, who's a wrestling coach. So when you say that he doesn't like wrestling, you think it's a load of crap. Let's not forget, he's a wrestling coach. He talks about it all the time. Then you have Mike, who will sit up there and say, hey, you know what? I mean, the wrestling's cool, but I want to see a storyline. He says hashtag wrestling storyline every 5 minutes. So I understand both of your points, and I think you have valid points, but let's not – here's the thing. If you go back, if somebody say, you know what, I want you to go back and watch this match. I always still talk for this match. Davey Richards versus Jay Lethal, Ring of Honor, live in Baltimore. I was just getting accustomed to the Ring of Honor product. So for me to sit there and watch that match, I had no idea. I mean, I knew Jay Lethal was the, at the time, the Ring of Honor World Champion. The television champion, while Davey Richards was the Ring of Honor World Champion. The reason why, but I didn't know any storyline. The reason why I watched it because it was a great wrestling match. Okay. You know, there are times, Mike, where you will watch a great wrestling match.
I've been misquoted. That's not what I'm saying.
No. What you're saying is you're not going to watch a product if you're not getting a great storyline.
Right. I'm not. Of course, I would sit there and watch that match and have watched great matches. I'm not saying you don't watch wrestling for wrestling. I'm saying wrestling for wrestling doesn't keep you.
Well, sometimes it does because.
Then why does every company make storylines?
Because we know that's what sells. That's not the point. But I have to say this: that to say TNA doesn't make great storylines, that's a load of crap. There are some hidden gems in there. It's just that the problem is that we have become accustomed to them letting us down so much that we won't give them the time in the day because of that.
I
You know,
can't speak on the world.
huh?
I
Well,
can't speak on the world.
well, I'm just, like for me personally, I have waited years for Matt Hardy to become a world champion somewhere, whether it
Hmm.
was TNA, WWE. When he was the ECW world champion, I watched ECW.
Hmm.
That's how, like, he was one of my favorite guys. But then they let me down, and it was like just when I thought I was gonna be paying attention. Now, and the question I have for you, because like, it's not me, obviously, I'm not jumping on you, but you said a lot, and a lot of stuff just makes sense. But my question is, when you say you won't watch TNA, if you're flipping through your channels and something catches your eye, will you
Hmm.
watch it, or will you say no, this is TNA, so I'm not giving it a
No,
chance? Are you? And the second part of the question is, have you just had enough with TNA that you just don't even want to invest your time in it no more?
I've invested so much time, and I know somebody's out there saying, well, does this guy still watch WWE? Look how many times they disappointed. You're absolutely right. Great comparison. Great. I can answer that third question there as well. The problem with TNA is you had great talent that and you could not add to the product to make it better. You know what I'm saying? That they had America's Most Wanted. They had Elix Skipper and all those guys. You know what I'm saying? Look where TNA was. AJ Styles when he was truly the phenomenal one. Okay, you had Team Canada and things like that, and they grew from there. And they brought the one piece in, which was Christian, and they brought the second piece in, which was Kurt Angle. And then from there, they done what every business tried to do, whether you're Apple or Android, whether you're PlayStation or Xbox. They tried to mimic somebody else, and it didn't work for them. So then they tried to go back to their original formula. But by then, they let the enemy come in there. HH, I don't call his full name. You guys can be more than welcome to say that. And his friends, and they came in and they ruined the product. Okay? My problem with TNA, if I'm flipping through it and I see a great match, will I stop and watch it? Absolutely right. I think EC3 is something that completely the world is missing out on. I think that guy is money. That's just my opinion. In the sports entertainment world, he can do a little bit better inside the squared circle. If I see a great if I see a great match, obviously I watch wrestling for wrestling, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna stand on my stance and say if it's not giving me something that's entertaining to the television eye, and again I look at it put like this: when my kids won't watch it, and my one son watches, I can put on New Japan Pro Wrestling here in the room, and if I'm in the office and it's on, and we'll watch it because maybe he is intrigued by the language they're using in their native tongue of speaking, but he won't watch TNA. My kids, I will put it on and they will turn it off. And they don't turn off any other wrestling that I put on, but they turn off TNA because the storylines the acting is just so bad. And something I heard William Regal say on Breaking Ground this past week. He said it starts in your mind, it starts in your heart, and it starts in your eyes. If you don't show the world what you're trying to have us see, if we don't believe it in you, then you're getting booed. And TNA don't make me believe anything when I watch their product. Anything. Not knocking the people there who are trying to do it, and the guys that I respect and things like that. I respect them for trying. I'm just saying, give Ring of Honor a bigger platform to be in. To me, I think Lucha Underground is one of the best things on television, but it's because of the storyline with it. Yes, they have super amazing matches, but the storylines in that federation is amazing to me, and what keeps it going.
Is it the storylines or the cinematography, the way they shoot it? I mean,
the way it's shot to me is exactly like a soap opera. So I wouldn't say it's the way it's shot. It's different. It's definitely the cinematography. It caught my eye. I like how they, being a production major, I do like the cinematography behind it. But I think some of the things that TNA do is very raw, and I wish that other companies would take from. I love their backstage interview portions of their product and things like that. It's just TNA. It's just to me, to be on platforms, it's been on top of platforms on top of platforms. They've had enough blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings, but still can't get no fans on top of fans on top of fans.
Yeah, we can't say that.
I can't say that. The proof's in the pudding. What do you mean?
It's a million people who choose to tune in their show every week. It's still 700,000.
That's not domestic. You're talking worldwide.
No,
this is the last time. Domestically, nobody cares about TNA.
I said this. This is one thing. I'm gonna just be real with y'all.
There was 1.1 million before they moved to Destination America. When Spike TV counseled them, they were averaging 1 million, and that's domestic. That's United States people a week.
Okay.
I would love to get 1 million people to watch us. 1 million people. Or you get a million people on any station, they're gonna buy that. What happened was what Brian alluded to earlier. Wrestling fans say internet bloggers, people talking, us said, TNA sucks. Guess what happened? Everybody jumped on the bandwagon. TNA sucks, and they stopped watching. And everybody keeps talking about TNA sucks. TNA sucks, but yet they still drew 1 million plus people a week. And then when they went to Destination America, they drew 500,000 and averaged 300,000 people a week. And when they go to Pop TV, they're going to average about 200,000 a week. And guess what? There's a lot of shows on TV that would love to get 200,000 viewers to watch them.
If there's a show on television on a major network that doesn't get 200,000 views a week, they're not on television.
But yeah, it's cable TV though. You're not talking about NBC, ABC, CBS. Okay. You're talking about Pop TV.
Okay, I'm not talking about CBS, ABC, or NBC. I'm talking about your FX. I'm talking about your USA networks. I'm talking about your BETs, your MTVs, your VH1s, whatever you want to name, whatever alternate station you want to name away from the big boys. If they're not averaging a 1 point something, they're not on television.
That's not true.
Okay, name me a show that doesn't get 1 million views.
Huh? What was that?
Name me a major show that doesn't get 1 million views. Name me a show that doesn't get that kind of ratings. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
You want Cops on Spike TV.
They're all reruns.
But Spike, you said a show.
But it's not on. It's not live. It's not on. That's a rerun. That's not the same. It's not the same.
Okay, Ring of Honor.
I'm talking about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is not on. And Ring of Honor is on in a certain area. It's not on everywhere. It's on here because it's here.
Destination America. It's on Destination America. It don't get 1 million. You look at the barbecue show that comes on Destination America is not drawing 1 million viewers. Pitmasters. And that's a major network.
Again, if you think that Destination America is a major network, then we can end this conversation and move on to the next one because it's not a major network.
If you think
not a major network, no one even heard of that network before wrestling fans knew that TNA went there. No one.
Well, come on now. Let's first of all, let's stop with the no ones and the every ones, because that's just it's a pet peeve of mine.
Okay, and the world that I live in and the folks that I stay connected to, no one knew what that channel was. It was the running joke, the same way it is now. Ooh, what's Pop Network? Let me ask my cable provider. Oh, I got it. Oh, so now I start turning to it.
So who knew what El Rey Network was? And it's been there for years.
People who spoke Spanish.
So people who like barbecue knew who Destination America was.
That's not only just a Spanish show because they show Kung Fu. They show Kung Fu channels. They show Kung Fu movies, and they don't show those in Spanish.
You're trying so hard there to get to get this point over. You're feeling like the Patriots did today.
Before Lucha Underground came on, because I'm a Kung Fu guy.
Well, I've watched Kung Fu all the time, and I've never knew that El Rey had them because they're always on Spike TV if I want to watch a Kung Fu movie.
Well.
Or FX.
Broke Twitter.
What's she do now? She show something?
It's posting a picture now. Follow us at Russell_Summit. Russell_Summit.
But I'm sorry, I just don't think that TNA that you can fight the good, valiant fight for TNA all you want to, and enough of y'all are doing it that it keeps getting network televisions to put their show on. It's just nothing they can do. I won't say nothing, but they don't have me as a supporter.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have ran out of time. Mike Knox is not a supporter of TNA. Glenn is. I could go either way. Actually, I like it. It's wrestling. But nonetheless, final thoughts, Mike?
The Wiz. Now that's what you call getting viewers. 11.6, actually. Okay. Yes, people, listen to this. I am African American. I'm going to quote the words of the great one himself, Gfather725 on Twitter. Just because I'm pro-black don't mean I don't like white people. Listen, people, if I get one more tweet or hear one more tweet talking about how can it be an all-black rendition of The Wizard of Oz, and what if there's an all-white version? I'm sorry, I can name about 10,000 movies that are all white. Okay, The Wiz was done beautifully for my African-American brothers and sisters out there. If you got a family, it was beautiful. My daughters, I cannot wait till they make a little black doll so that I can get it for my daughter so she can have something to relate to. The Wiz was amazing, and it's going to get re-aired as well. And Raw is back on track. Thank you, WWE, for making me have a good Raw last week. I might watch it tomorrow.
It's good. You talk about The Wiz. It was good to see 11 million people tune into a show that doesn't have ratchet TV, as I call it, which is Love Hip Hop,
That's a little.
which is Atlanta Housewives.
You're right.
You can see 11 million people tuning something that's not ratchet but wholesome. But back to more professional wrestling. Wrestling is what it is. It's pro wrestling. It's entertainment to me. And I like to see the action within the ring. When I watch a boxing match, I don't care what lead up to it. I know when it gets in the ring, these two guys are going to fight. When I see people in the octagon, I want to see them fight. When I see people in a wrestling ring, I want to see them put on a good performance. And so that's the case may be. I let them tell the story in the ring. When I go to see a movie, I don't know the whole backtrack of the movie, but I sat there and watch it be entertained in the ring. The trailer is what gets me. Back in the day and age, when we watched wrestling on a regular basis back in my day, you didn't see major stars fight each other until they was in the 20-by-20 ring. So it's the action which gets there. But wrestling right now is good. Sheamus as a champion, great. WWE do need more stars. Is it in NXT right now? No. Is the roster they have right now is what they need to build, and they need to continue to build the roster up and make fans love the people that's already called up. And that's my thought for the week.
Well, my final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Interested to see how Raw is. I know it's December. Raw usually slows down. Unfortunately, wrestlers start taking their breaks. I know one thing. I'm tired of seeing Tyler Breeze versus Dolph Ziggler. Can we move on from that already? But I want to see some more Naomi. But I tell you one thing I did like, and that was seeing that my girl Cameron and my girl Athena got in the ring, mixed it up this past weekend. Cameron posted the picture, but it was Athena's team where she was teaming up with Asuka, and the other lady escapes me. But as always, a great women's match. Athena and them got the victory, so that made me excited. But until next week, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back here on the Wrestling Summit. So long, everybody.
Fingers.